I am giving you a live...
Played their last concert, ? On their last ever tour, ? Saturday night at the Forum in Los Angeles, the second of 2 shows at the venue, wrapping the, quote, final campaign of their touring life. The band ended their set with, of course, Angel of Death. Frontman Tom Araya kept it civil at the conclusion, telling fans, "Time is precious, so I thank you for sharing that time with us. Thank you. I'm going to miss you guys, but the most important thing I want to thank you for is being a part of my life. Thank you. Good night. You guys be safe." From what I can see, a bunch of celebs were in attendance that night, from Kirk Hammett of Metallica to the Anthrax Boys to Game of Thrones and Aquaman star Jason Momoa, who brought his kids, which is adorable. So there's a bit of fan-filmed footage making the rounds. I'll link to it via the Twitter feed at SiriusXM Volume, so go check it out when you get a chance.
Yeah, I know a lot of people had reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, you're going to be at this show, you're going to be at this show." And unfortunately, and again, I live in New Jersey, and even though I am all over the map constantly, I do live in New Jersey. I do have family and holidays and stuff here, and it's just, I can't, I would love to have flown across the country just to see the last Slayer show, but like Tom said, time is precious, and I got to dedicate my time and spread it around a little bit. That being said, there were a lot of people that did make that trip to go, and I get it. I mean, Slayer is never a commercially successful band, but as respected and as iconic as it gets when it comes to metal, a band that has done it in a most uncompromising way maybe we've ever seen, and scaled heights that no one could ever have dreamed, with literally zero radio airplay commercially. Zero success in that way. The most uncompromising metal band, and maybe the one to get the furthest by doing it their way and not compromising in any way. It's a pretty amazing story. And talking about documentaries and having you just watch this Y&T doc and all the music docs that I love so much, they would be a great candidate for a documentary about a career. And I don't know, maybe there's something in the works, I don't know. But they really would be great, because it's a pretty incredible story of how they started in the early 80s and how they've now presumably wrapped up, because we have to just couch every farewell with allegedly today. But it's incredible. It's whether you like the band or not. And I understand there's a lot of people that it's too extreme for them and all that, and I understand that. Or they don't like the imagery they use or whatever. All of that aside, you cannot deny the impact, the influence, and the fact that a band like that was able to get to a point that in their final tour, they were headlining arenas with zero compromise. I mean, Metallica, I think it's safe to say, is the biggest metal band in the world today. I know that's not even an argument. That's not even debatable, actually. That's proven by the show we did last week, because Metallica were the only thing close to a metal act in the top 20 biggest grossing acts of the last 20 years or 10 years. So it's not even up for debate. Statistically, Metallica miles beyond any metal band in terms of draw, money they make, and all that. But you saw Kirk Hammett, who flew in and was there just to see the last show. And the respect that they have for a band like Slayer. The fact that when the Big Four tour happened, Slayer was second billed in the running order. Think about that. Megadeth actually had some radio success, but the billing, would of the Big Four would lead you to believe that of those 4 super influential acts, Slayer is the second most loved, biggest band. But that's with zero radio, zero support in that way. It's amazing. It really, really is amazing. So props to those guys. And I saw Post Malone was at the show too.
He was.
And you know what? I am not a fan of that music, obviously. Respect for what he does, but it's not my thing in any way, shape, or form. And I have a hard time Like, I understand there's a lot of people that are a lot more diverse in their taste than I am, and I respect that, and that's great. But I can't understand, like, how you can be so into metal but make music in your professional career so wildly counter to what metal is and stands for. But that being said, the guy is a legit metal fan and a legit hard rock fan. I mean, I had heard that about him, but if you're going to Slayer,
yeah,
you're into it.
That's for no novice.
Yeah, that's not entry level. That's not, I like AC/DC, I like Metallica, I like Iron Maiden.
No.
You're going to watch Postmortem live from Slayer. You know, you're into it, man. That's legit.
That's not like buying a Maiden t-shirt at the mall and wearing it around town.
No. That's not like being ironic and Rihanna wearing the Crocus shirt on stage.
Maybe she'll be at the Crocus show in Switzerland. Who knows?
So anyway, it looked like it was a huge deal, and the Forum had the Slayer logo and lights around it. It looked like it was an amazingly cool thing.
Looked great.
And I saw video footage of the very end, and those guys stood on that stage for about 10 minutes, taking it all in, throwing picks and sticks out to everybody, just waving. There was a moment where they didn't say anything to the crowd. They were out there for literally 10, 15 minutes after Angel of Death, and they just walked around. If you watch the video, there's a bunch of stuff on YouTube. They're just walking around, taking it all in, probably looking at the Forum, in their hometown of LA, and trying to figure out how the hell did we just sell this out for 2 nights? And then maybe somewhere deep in the recesses of Kerry King's mind saying, wait, but why are we ending exactly? We're bigger than we've ever been. Reunion tour in 3 years. I said to their manager, because I saw Slayer at Exit 111, which, by the way, I was bummed to see also in the news is not going to happen. Ed, I don't know if I'm stealing anything from you there.
No, I don't have that one, actually.
Okay, so anyway, I saw Slayer at Exit 111, so I did get to see him on this tour, and you did get to see all the guys, and I congratulate them on an amazing career, and we'll see what they do going forward. Gary Holt was kind of on loan to Slayer from Exodus. Paul Bostoff, one of the 2 or 3 drummers Slayer have had in their career, we'll see what he ends up doing. But the real interesting thing is, what is Tom and Kerry going to do? Is Tom just done? Something tells me Kerry's going to do something musically. So I don't know. We'll see. But real quick, and we'll hit a break and we'll come back with more of Ed's news. Yeah, I was bummed to see it. It was posted on social media, on the official Exit 111 social media account, that Exit 111 will not continue. So that is a one-and-done festival that happened just a couple months ago in Tennessee that I had the great honor of hosting, and I was really hoping would continue because I thought it was an incredibly cool and diverse lineup with everything from Guns N' Roses to Slayer to Gojira to Def Leppard to you name it, Leonard Skinner. I loved the diversity of rock and metal mixed together at that thing. But I know that the attendance was not anywhere near where they wanted it. I know they were hoping for about 30,000 a day, and they got closer to 20,000 a day. So that appears to, at least for now, be one and done for those hoping that, like myself, that would be an annual thing. It looks like it's not going to be. But look, it just speaks to something we talk about all the time. All of these bands are out there constantly. Everyone is touring. Everyone is playing festivals. And there are so many options for you as the ticket buyer that we're going to see this happen more and more, where things are going to sink and swim because the market just can't sustain it all. And you really need to come up with something pretty cool and pretty groundbreaking in terms of your lineup to really set yourself apart, because let's face it, we see a lot of the usual suspects on a lot of these bills, and a lot of them tour on their own outside of that. So oversaturation is a massive issue the way I see it. Redundancy is a massive issue the way I see it. And some of this stuff is going to make it and some isn't. And unfortunately, Exit 111 was a one and done deal. Whether they bring it back somewhere down the line, who knows? But I had a blast. They were great to me when I hosted it. They treated me well, the folks at C3 who put that on. And I was really, really hoping they'd give it another run and build it and keep it going, but they have folded their tent on that one for the time being. All right, let's get a break, and we'll come back with more news after this.